At the very outset, I offer my humble pranam to the lotus feet of 𝗏𝗏 and Shivan sir. This day, on his avatar divasa, to be here, to be at a place where we have things which he left behind for generations, and from where the light continues emanating. In fact, I was just sitting and turning the pages of this, his notebook. I was amazed by the beautiful handwriting. I wish I had even 10% of that. And then I happened to fall upon, there is one page in English. And there, I was curious to read what he has written. He has written on Kashmir, both Kashmir problem, how succinctly, briefly, he has mentioned that Kashmir problem, how it got complicated. When Maharaja of Kashmir had signed the accession, instrument of accession, there was nothing else to be done. Jammu and Kashmir, whole of it had become part of India. But then, insistence of the then Prime Minister that no, unless Sheikh Abdullah was released, because he was creating a lot of problems, he was a troublemaker, he would not accept it. That complicated. Gave opportunity to Pakistan to capture part of it. Then, a large territory occupied by China, that also he mentions here. And how all this happened because of certain decisions which should have been avoided and right decisions should have been taken. I was hugely impressed by the 𝗙cie insight, because to get that insight it took me many years when I have been in the theater all through. But he had it sitting here and observing what was happening around. In fact, before I came to Tamil Nadu, I had heard a lot about 𝗏𝗏. I had read something about him. And I wish I had the opportunity to have had his darshan, which didn't happen. But when I came, later I got to know about Shivan sir, how evolved a divine soul he was. When I come to know about such divine souls, get to know about them, be to the place where they have walked, it's all a matter of blessings, it's a infinite blessings. They are in, this land, Bharat, a divine land. It has from time to time, divine has chosen this land to appear. And appear not for this land alone, but for the whole cosmos, whole universe. In fact, Sri Aurobindo, when Bharat became independent, on that day, 15th August 1947, he wrote a few pages, what we all say that it is his dream. He said that, look, he said that now the time has come. The time has come for Bharat to discharge its divine obligation of saving the world, saving the world. He said, look, on this, in this entire universe, Earth is the only planet where we know that life exists, and it doesn't merely exist. Consciousness is in a constant state of evolution. 𝗔𝗀𝘀𝘀 This is evolving. Even soil is not, what is inanimate is not actually lifeless, because every life comes from that. How it can be lifeless? Only thing is, consciousness is sleeping there. Once it starts waking up, life form changes, depending on the status of its awakened state. So, he said that this Earth, Prithvi, is the planet where this life form consciousness is in a constant state of evolution to higher and higher. And on this planet, Bharat is the land where thousands of years ago, during the time of Rig Veda, this light was revealed that Vyashti, Srishti, Samashti, we are all part of creation of the same Parameshri, same Parameshwara, and we are all a family. This light or knowledge which was revealed through the Vedas, that entire whole universe is one family, and what we see differences in look, these are apparent. That is what all through our literatures it has been stated time and again, that these are just mere diversities, numerous manifestation of the same divine, and essentially the ability to see that they are all one is what is called Sattvic Jnana. That is what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. सर्वभूतेषु ऐक्यं भावम् अव्ययम् ईक्षते अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु तद ज्ञानम विधि सात्विकम. Means all the beings are one and the same. This indivisible that looks divided, ability to see that it is that unity, that oneness is the Sattvic Jnana. We have Sattvic, Tamasic, Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. So Sattvic is the most evolved. So this realization, Sri Aurobindo says that this realization that the whole universe is a family, plants, animals, humans, rocks and reefs, all are part of a family. This knowledge, this light was revealed on this land. Why? Why did it come only to Bharat? Why not anywhere else? Then Sri Aurobindo says that this is Punya Bhumi, this is a divine land. This light appeared here for 𝗔𝗀𝗀, not for here. Unfortunately, for long period, because Bharat was enslaved, we were not in a position to discharge the responsibility. But now that the Bharat has become independent, now the time has come, we must discharge our responsibility. It's a divine mandate. Now, this mandate, of course, after this independence, we could not fulfill this for a very long time. And it is primarily because we moved away from what was our soul. Because Sri Aurobindo also says that what is Bharat? Bharat is not a geography. Sri Aurobindo defines, and that is what, if you think of it, you realize. He says Bharat is a living energy of our Sanatana Dharma, Vedic Dharma. The Dharma that tells you that the whole universe is one and the same family. This connect, that there is no other. This, the intensity of our loyalty to this Sanatana Dharma will define the identity and existence of Bharat. So Bharat is a living energy of this Sanatana Dharma. And how loyal we are to this Dharma, to that extent energy will build up. And that is how we will be capable of. And we will be able to do whatever we have been divinely mandated. And unfortunately, as we know, that we moved away soon after. And we started not only just simply moved away, but moved away almost 180 degrees. Just opposite we went. And in the process, decline continued. We started declining. In every field we declined. For nearly 7 decades we continued declining. At the time of independence, we were the 6th largest economy. When the British took over, we were the #1 economy. At the time when they left us, we were 6th. We were poorer. But by 2014, we became the 11th. We became far more poorer. We became divided. Everyone started within 10 years of independence in the name of language, in the name of so-called race, ethnicity, region. All the division started. It was all, these are all nothing but testimony, the fact that the decline, the decadence had set in Bharat. Because the living energy which came from our allegiance to this Dharma, that energy kept declining. Now, if you think of it, this Bharat, how this energy kept us together. Our problem mostly happens, or most of the problem that we face today is primarily because after independence, we got more colonized in our mind than even during independence. Now, we stopped talking about Bharat. Bharat was replaced by India. We talk about nation, and we all do that. Even I use the word nation building. But if you come to think of it, Is nation a Bharatiya concept? It is not. Nation is essentially a European concept. And they had created this concept when the Europe had colonized the whole world, almost whole world. I won't call it whole, but yes, some part of it were not, but entire Africa, most of Asia, they had colonized. Latin America, America, North and South America, they had colonized all. And then they started coming up with concept of telling the people of the land who were living on the land, breaking them into various groups and telling that this land doesn't belong to anyone. You are one nation, you are one nation. You are, in the name of language, in the name of the way you dress, the way you eat, they started defining nationality. So it is essentially a political tool of the colonial power to keep the colonies subdued and divided. Bharat never called itself by this. Bharat was a Rashtra. But we didn't talk about a Rashtra. We started talking about, because English, after all, unless we talk in English, and we were shy of, think of it, name Bharat, Bharat people, Bharat, which is since thousands and thousands of years in our literature, Bharat is mentioned as Bharat. Even the sankalp that we were doing, reference came. This place, when it comes to this place doesn't stand alone. It stands at a Bharatvarse, Bharatkhande, and then you come to this place. Is a part of Bharat. But we started calling India. When you say India, you don't get the sense as if it was India was born. This Rashtra, how the Rashtra came into being. This Rashtra coming into being, once had we continued using the word, our word Rashtra, perhaps there would have been more literature on what is Rashtra. Our people would have got to know more and more about Rashtra rather than trying to define it by nation. You know, I'm sure many of you might have read who is called in their language they called Archbishop of Political Thought, Harold 𝗙liche, Grammar of Politics. In Grammar of Politics, he tries to define what is nation. He has come up with all the concepts, nation, sovereignty, state, all these things. He has tried to define it, what it is. And then if you read it, you find this man is totally, he is at pains to define what is a nation. And they, white people, they use nation only for the colonies, not on themselves. So, Rashtra, actually Bharat is a Rashtra. When we start looking at Rashtra, then we understand it better. Because after all, what is a Rashtra? What is a Rashtra that originated since the time of the Veda itself? Many of you are scholars here, and I am nobody, I am not competent even to speak and talk on these matters. But whatever little I know, Rashtra was born, as the Vedic saying goes, Bhadram 𝗖𝗵𝗋 𝗔𝗀𝘀 tapo diksham upanishadu ragre tato rashtram vanamo jasajat. Bhadram 𝗖𝗵𝗋, rishis who were born, who appeared for Vishwakalyan. Bhadra 𝗖𝗵𝗋, Vishwakalyan. Such rishis, those who were equipped with Svavida, Atmagyan. And what is Atmagyan? Mam Atma Sarva Bhudatma. So rishis, their tap and diksha, the hard work of these rishis, that a Rashtra is born. Rashtra is a samu, is a collection of people who come together as a sangha, as a together with a particular sense of outlook, a drishti. The drishti that yes, we are all member of one family. Whether we are humans, whether we are animals, plants, whatever it is. Rocks, rivers, everything is a member of a family. So it is the rishis, their hard work, their tapas, their diksha that created this Rashtra. And that is how Bharat came into being, because a number of rishis from time to time have appeared and have created this Rashtra. When we think of, imagine, Bharat Rashtra, with so many kings and kingdoms, in this whole land, we have 12 Jyotirlinga, we have 51 Shakti-Pitha, we have 108 Divyadesham. They are all spread over the whole Bharat. And they belong to all Bharatis. It doesn't belong to a local region. Imagine, when Adi Shankaracharya, he travels all over and establishes Badri, Dwarika, Puri, all these peaks that he creates, all parts. These are all rishis who created all these Jyotirlinga, Shakti-Pita or Divyadesha, and united the whole family and created a Rashtra. So when we talk about Rashtra, then Rashtra and then the Dharma, it becomes inseparable. And in that series of rishis have appeared from every time to time, every age they have appeared to save and nourish this Dharma. And in that very divine, as we say that Sambhavami Juge Juge, in that very series we had Mahaperiva, we had Shivam sir, who came on this earth to reinforce, re-energize, and they came at a very tough time, very difficult time. At the time when we were all largely subjugated by the foreign powers, and even after independence we got suppressed by our own people because they moved away towards the tamasic pravritti. They moved away from what was supposed to be the way forward. They moved away to a different course. During that time they appeared and saved it. So I personally, when I visit Sannidhi of any such divine soul, my way of looking at it is, look at, in these thousands years of tradition, it is these, Parameshwara, the divine, appeared through these to save this and energize this Rashtra. And so, when we say Rashtra Bhakti, commitment to Rashtra, devotion to Rashtra, it is, if we do not have, then what Sri Aurobindo says, and what we have suffered, we suffered during the colonization and subjugation for 1,000 years, but then subsequent 70 years we suffered all the more because we moved away and we kept declining. And you see, if you look at what is happening in the 10, 11 years, we are now, course correction is happening. We are trying to correct the course and come back to our, and then you see the energy. Can you see that? If we can't see, can't we see the energy? The same Bharat, earlier I used to sometimes I used to listen in discussion debates. We used to worry, why is it this country, China, was far behind, it has gone up. Many countries which were far behind us, they have left us far behind. Why this is happening? And then the so-called experts and Vidwan who used to say, no, you cannot. They used to, of course, they didn't know Bharat, so they would call India will grow only at the Hindu rate of growth. Because anything else, to say Hindu was a matter of, as if it was, people were inhibited, shy of, why should I call it? It's a regressive. And anything which is not good or which is slow, you mark it, label it Hindu. Today, when we are the fastest growing large economy in the world, and when we are growing at a pace the whole world is watching with curiosity, and our growth is not just GDP growth. Our growth is dharmic growth, that all inclusive. In 2014, 30%, more than 30% of our people were in absolute poverty. Not having roof over the head, not able to have 2 meals a day, not proper clothes to wear, no medicine if you fall sick. That was the condition. Imagine, over 30% of our people were absolute poor. And in last 10 years, 25 crores have been pulled out of poverty, and the number has come down to below 5%. Wow, where did it happen? That means it's what the growth that is happening is all inclusive. When Prime Minister Modi says sabka saath, sabka vikas, all inclusive, it is nothing but it is a commandment or the truth of by Sanatan Dharma, we are all part of a family. And when we are part of a family, then I cannot afford to say that I will feed someone and someone will remain hungry. I will treat someone when someone falls sick, let someone suffer. You cannot. But this was the model that we followed all through 7 decades. Okay, this 5-year plan, so much is medicine, so much hospital, so much. As a result, the problems continued multiplying. We never looked at Bharat as a family or kutumbam. And this course correction is now, when I see it every day, I reminded of Sri Aurobindo, building up of the energy, national energy, in every field, science, technology, economy, every field, even in knowledge. Bharat was supposed to be Vishwaguru in every field. It was not only a spiritual, adhyatmic, but even in material science, our astronomy, our mathematics, our medicine. It was way ahead. The world, if you look into the old literature, you find that, in fact, I happened to come across, some of you might have read. It was in 1788 when the company had taken over Bharat, and because after Battle of Plassey, subsequently they took over Bengal, then they had Madras, Mumbai, also suddenly Bombay, one by and large, they had large part of Bharat, some part was leaving, so by over 1801 after Battle of Pancharan Kuruchi, even this part was gone. Marathas had to leave. So it became by the time. But by 1788, major part of Bharat, they had taken control. At that point, some scholars from Edinburgh University, who were visiting Bharat because they had heard a lot about knowledge of Bharat. They were coming, Europeans were coming, Germans were coming, French were coming, British started coming in large number. In 1788 in March, a group of scholars of Edinburgh University, because there were 3 centers of learning in Britain, Oxford, Cambridge and Edinburgh. And this team was led by Professor McConaughey. They write a letter to the British government, and the letter is beautiful. He says that he appeals to the British government that you must commit your resources to discover, collect and translate. Discover wherever they are, collect it, take it and translate it. All the ancient literatures that tells the work and knowledge of the Hindus. Because that will help enrich European thought process, and also it will enrich our science and technology. And then we will also get to know more about, and then I am quoting his word, that letter, inverted comma, and then we will know about the celebrated people, the Hindus, celebrated people, the Hindus, from whom Greek received their art and religion. Greek received their art and religion, and Moses received his knowledge. Now, Moses was before Jesus Christ. We know that. Moses is the Old Testament. So this was the understanding of the British at the time when they colonized Bharat, how great this land was. And this land, of course, subsequently for their own reasons, they wanted to kill the sense of selfhood. So they fabricated the history, everything about Bharat is bad, bad, bad. And they started infusing in us an inferiority complex. So much so that we started believing, and generations after generations, even after independence, we started following this. We had lost the sense of the fact that how colonized we remained even after independence. Mahatma Gandhi had said on the day of independence, he was sitting he was not very happy, country was partitioned, so he was sitting in a corner, Bhangi colony of Delhi. So some journalist went and asked him, why are you not celebrating? The whole country celebrating, you look very sad. Are you not happy with independence? He says that, look, British had left us, he says at the time, British have left us only physically. They are still occupying our mind. And it will take hard work. And it might take at least half the time they had colonized to remove them out of our mind. If you come to think of how prophetic it was that we remained colonized. I remember in 2006, our Prime Minister went to Oxford to open a chair, India chair. And there he delivered a speech, and I was shocked at the time, there was no reaction in our country. He praised the British. They say, you gave us railway, you gave us English language, you gave us code, you changed, justice system, as if we were barbarian, as if we didn't know, we didn't have a language. Imagine. But I don't blame him, because this is how he was groomed. And then, some of you might have read, London Guardian had written an editorial on 18th of May 2014. 18th of May 2014, Guardian had written editorial where it says, 18th May 2018 will go down in history as the day when the British finally left India. British finally left India because until then, system of administration and governance in India was a continuation of the British Raj by other name. They realized that now the man has come, some people have come who are going to change it, who are going to work for the decolonization of mind. Now this decolonization has to happen if our national energy has to come up, has to build up. And this national energy will come up only when we have a true allegiance to our dharma. But what they did is they replaced, and then we'll be able to understand what is Bharat. So Bharat has to be restored in place of India, which is the true. Rashtra has to be restored in place of nation. Dharma has to be restored in place of religion. Because these are not. There can be countless religions in the world. We too have countless sampradaya, don't we have? We start counting, there is no end to it. Thousands of sampradayas we have. Maybe more, lakhs, I don't mind, But dharma is only one. There are no two dharma. Because this dharma, which has originated in the Veda, is universal. It doesn't belong to Bharat only. Bharat has a duty to take this dharma to the whole world. And this duty, it is time for us to now perform it. We have a right environment. We have a time. We all say that in every individual life or every collective life or even Rashtra's life, there comes a time, and perhaps it is providential, it is again divine choosing, when the Rashtra wakes up to fulfill its divine mandate. And I think this is our time. This is the time for Bharat. Because when Bharat is rising, it is rising with a different model. It is neither the Western capitalist model that, okay, you make money, create wealth by whatever means, and if somebody is poor, condemn. Poor is, that means that person is to be blamed. In capitalism, if a poor person, they have no sympathy for the poor because this person is not capable, this is by virtue, because it's Darwinian. In Darwin says that survival of the fittest. There is no room for compassion. There is no room for kinship. It's all survival of the fittest. So if the poor person is poor, let the person poor. If somebody is not able to provide medicine, let him perish. Look at the United States of America. There is no health care. People are miserable. You have a lot of homeless people. But even in terms of GDP, they have so much of it. No, that's not a model. Another model is socialist model, which you have in countries. We know, where a state takes control of everything, becomes guardian of everything, people become client-patron relations. No. Bharat is developing, is rising on its own model, where it's all inclusive. We look upon Bharat as one kutumbam, one family. And all our growth model is all inclusive. And we see the result. As I was saying that from Vishwaguru we had become totally knowledge barren, bankrupt. In 2015-16, World Intellectual Property Organization, there is an organization in the WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, that tabulates in the whole world which country has created how much knowledge, intellectual property, that is essentially in science and technology. We didn't figure anywhere. Nothing. It is only now that we have started. With so much effort, so much reorientation, and today from nowhere, we are 0.5% was our share. Today in 2024, we have gone to 3%. Imagine this is a quantum jump. 6 times we have grown in last. And who is doing it? It is our people who are doing it, our young men and women who are doing it. They are creating the new and new knowledge, new intellectual property, patents. You see in every day you find how not only in IITs and other, even in tier 2, tier 3 cities. Now we have got our own technology, some of you are already using it, I know it. Earlier YouTube used to be in the field of technology, all the American companies, you have WhatsApp, now we have got RFI. Look, you are all aware of it. So we have, these things was unimaginable some time before. It is happening today. This is New Bharat, because this New Bharat is loyal to its foundational values, foundational principle, that is our Sanatan Dharma. Sri Rama, imagine, when we did the national freedom movement, what was, in fact, if you look at how did the people get mobilized, we had 2 sets of people leading the national freedom movement. One was hot, we will fight, and we will do or die. What was their war cry? Bande Mataram. Mother. Bharat is mother, Mata. And this Mata is Shakti Rupena, Durga, and worship. When Shivaji took on this Mughals, Aurangzeb, What was the war cry? Jai Bhavani. So when national freedom movement started, the people, those who wanted to take on, they took recourse to Mata, Durga, Bharat Mata, Bande Mataram. Whether it is the Bankim Chandra composed or our Subramaniam Bharati composed, Mata. And once you say it's the Mata, you give your life. There is no two opinion. If anyone hurts my mother, I will give my life. There is no question of I will not let that happen. But those who did not fight, they thought they were peaceful. What was their cry? What was their slogan? How did they mobilize? Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavan Sita Ram, Ram Ram Jai Raja Ram. This was the every day, morning and evening he was thinking. Now, it happened after independence. If you say Ram Ram, no, you are not secular, you are communal. They start calling you. Imagine the whole Bharat. When Swadeshi movement had started here, I remember I was reading a speech of 𝗙𝗵𝗶 𝗖𝗵 1907 at Marina Beach, to a large lakhs of people had gathered. He has delivered a speech on Swadeshi. He says Swadeshi is a reincarnation of Mahavishnu. This was the phrase that he had used, the language he had used. You adopt Swadeshi is a worship to Mahavishnu, and that is how we will get independence from the British. So all through the movement, our national energy was built along our dharma, along our dharmic icons. But after independence, Sri Rama became, for some people, he was an imaginary mythological person. That is why he said, no, there was no Rama. And the people have filed affidavit in the court, Supreme Court. No Rama, there was no Rama. Rama is not historical, Rama is only mythological. Imagine. For all these years, for 500 years, we have been fighting for people, Hindus have been fighting for having a place for Sri Rama where the place of his birth. But now, the whole nation proudly celebrated. It's a different thing that in our state it was banned officially, but people celebrated it. I remember that day when I visited Kodandaraman temple here in Chennai, I could feel it, that how priests and all were feeling suffocated. Because there was an undeclared, you can call it a curfew or a control. This land, I am surprised, Lord Muruga, who is not ever, who in this land doesn't worship Lord Muruga, I would like to know. But if you wish to do a Muruga celebration in public, you have to go to police station to take a permission. For Vinayaka, you have to go to police station. Other day we read in the newspaper, Vijayadashmi for Durga, you did it and you landed up in police station. Now, but this is not going to last. This is all is a dying phase. It is not going to be because this is all, is regressive, negative. It has a limited shelf life. It does destruction. The world has always been a battle between Deva and Asura. So eventually Devas win. Asuras, they do perish. So, but then fight goes on. There is no escape. If anyone feels that there will not be fight, that is a mistake. There will be fight. But we know what is going to be the eventual outcome of the fight. And we can see today the awakening that is happening in the state wherever we go. Awareness, consciousness, the sense of selfhood. Yes, this is what we were. And we have to reclaim it. This change is happening. So now, an awakened nation, I'm using the word English nation, but awakened Rashtra. Awakened Rashtra, it is unstoppable. I tell you, we all feel it in our guts, and I can feel it right from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, Kutch to Kamrup. I have visited all of them. This is awakening. Now, Rashtra and Dharma together are growing. And that is the way, sustainable way for the whole world. Imagine for the first 2000, when the 1 year back when we had the leadership of G20. What did we do? The message that we gave to the world, 𝗙𝗖𝗍 𝗙𝗶𝗹. It was not a coinage by Prime Minister Modi. Prime Minister Modi only expressed what is there in our sanskar, in our DNA. What has been given to us by our rishis, 5,000 or maybe, I don't know how many thousands since then. Nobody knows it. Since then. So this is our drishti. And with this drishti, which comes from Sanatan Dharma, because this drishti doesn't come just like that, unless you have that allegiance to that dharma, unless you are a practitioner of that dharma, you will not get this drishti. So this drishti, with that, our country is now, Bharat is waking up and discharging its global responsibility, discharging its own responsibility, and it will continue doing so. And now we have set a target. The nation is not just drifting, it has set a target. 2047. We don't have. These young children will be at the helm, young people will be at the helm, and maybe some of us could be at some point, we'll still be fortunate to see where we are. But we are all witnessing it today. That day will be the day. But still today, with the sense of pride that we have today, when we go out any part of this world, I remember, I have been traveling across in the district of my duty. Nobody took note of you. At the immigration in the world, wherever you have Indian passport, third class. Everybody was quick to advise, no, this is wrong, that is wrong, this is what you do, your country is not doing well, this country. Every advisor from all over the world. Today, when you go, the way you are looked upon, a Bharatiya is looked upon, the weight of Bharatiya passport has gone up many times fold. We were at the margin. In 2014, no one took us seriously. Today, nothing important in the world can be decided without Bharat being on the table. This is new Bharat, Bharat rising with its dharma, allegiance to the dharma. And in this, when we have the blessings of divine soul like Shivan sir, and of course 𝗕𝗏, they will keep guiding us, showing our way forward. Because whenever in confusion, and I tell you a truth, in the morning when I go to my temple, my home temple inside, and I bow before Mother Goddess, I only say, I do not know what I am going to do today. Because I do not know myself. Frankly speaking, I just do not know what. I do not know what you want me to do today. All that I will tell you, request you is, please give me the energy and the strength to do it and do it well. Now this strength and energy that has been given to us by the great divine souls will keep us going, and we will fulfill our mandate, our divine responsibility. This institution will continue growing. Light of Sir Shivan sir will continue spreading and re-energizing Bharat. This is what my wish, my prayer, and this is what is going to happen. I thank once again 𝗙𝗍 for taking this, dedicating his life, he and his team, to take on, as in the mission mode, the teaching. Thank you very much, 𝗙𝗍, for all that you are doing. A great national service you are doing. Great national service. It is Rashtra Dharma, Rashtra Seva is what you are doing. It is not just a spiritual, it is actually a Rashtra Seva you are doing. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.